I have only a $50 budget to buy my rod, reel, line, and baits from Walmart. My goal is to take all of this gear and catch a fish on every single lure I bought. Not only that, I am restricting my fishing area to just the pond right next to the Walmart parking lot. So with only $50 in a roadside pond, can I catch a fish? After looking at the pond next to the Walmart while driving by, I realized I'm gonna need something really small. It looks like a pond that would hold a lot of panfish and maybe small bass, so my rod choice was a Shakespeare Micro 5-foot ultralight. I picked the cheapest Lew's reel up for 21 bucks. I went with some of the classic micro fishing baits. My first pick was a tiny rooster tail. Then I grabbed some jig heads and small minnow style baits. This micro square bill looked perfect, so I picked that up as my final bait. Then I headed to the pond and rigged everything up. In my hands, this setup actually feels really good for how little it cost. It came pre-spooled with 4-pound monofilament. This ultra-light action is extremely light and bendy, so if I hook something big, it should be fun. After talking with some of the bank fishermen, they claimed the main species in here is bluegill and other types of panfish. So I started small with a rooster tail. There was no access ramp or anything to put my kayak in, so I just had to push it through the forest. I eventually got it through and put all of my gear in the boat. I brought extra rods just in case, but I wound up never even using them. I started casting that white rooster tail around this rocky bank. You can definitely tell you're around a Walmart with this road noise. I moved to the other side of the pond and started throwing around some brush. Well, as expected, there's a bluegill to start it off. This tiny rod made him feel huge. That officially checks off the rooster tail from our list. The rod and the reel are amazing in feel and sensitivity for the price. I have some way more expensive setups that feel cheaper than this, which kind of shocked me. One thing I should have invested in, though, was better line. This pre-spooled mono is just barely doing the job. I put some scent on my lure to maybe help get a few more bites. These panfish seem to be holding really close to these bushes and old limbs, so I kept running that pattern. There's another small one. I'm looking for much bigger, though. And that was a really solid bluegill that came off right there at the boat. These small hooks are not easy. There are so many of these small bluegills in here. I could sit here and catch 100 if I want. I've been sticking with this rooster tail because I've had so many bites on it, but soon I need to switch it up so I can cross off my other baits from the list. It's hard to, though, when you are catching them every cast. I finally switched over to my next bait. I went with the micro square bill. Maybe I can get a bigger bite on this? Well, this one is only a bit bigger. We checked off another bait, though. I feel like we can catch something larger. Please support me by liking and subscribing. Also comment below, what challenge should I try next? I moved further down to a different area and picked up the small crappie jig. Something hit it really hard, so I threw back in there. And that's a great largemouth for this gear. He fought like a 10-pounder on that 4-pound line. That also officially completes the challenge of catching one on every bait. I was finding these micro-sized threadfin shad all over the place, so it seems like I have the perfect size profile. I wanted to see how many more I could catch, so I picked the rooster tail back up. There's another solid little largemouth. This area seems to hold some bigger fish. I kept with that rooster tail for a bit longer. Well, overall, I would say that was a very successful challenge. It just goes to show that fishing can easily be done on a tight budget, and sometimes going smaller in gear can pay off.